Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster. Today, we're going to be reviewing the brand new Rogue One Death Trooper helmet. This is a helmet I cannot wait to open. I did pre-order it a little while ago, so it took a while to ship from Hasbro Pulse, but regardless, it's finally here and I cannot wait to get it opened and inevitably add it to the helmet shelf because it's the last helmet we need to complete the shelf. So, I'm beyond excited. Let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. First though, we are going to take a look at the box. It does have a nice like side kind of profile here of the helmet, followed by a mural artwork, like most of the BlackSeries figures have. On the back, we do have a description. Of course, you guys can pause and read it if you would like. And on the other side, we've got some like schematics of the helmet, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead, get this thing cracked open. We are gonna do our best here to open it up on camera. Get all of the pieces of tape cut. And there we go. Flipping open the cardboard here on the top. There is a little barrier, cardboard barrier, I guess just to protect it during shipping, so that's nice. Then there is this little cardboard piece that flips open. And now we can get to the helmet. And here it is. Of course, we do need to remove it from the plastic. And there we go. Here is the Death Trooper helmet out of the box. And just first impressions, this thing is so cool. Like, this is one of the coolest trooper like helmet designs. I always loved it going to the theaters when I was a kid, watching Rogue One and seeing this helmet. And so now that I have a physical form of this in my hand, it's really, really cool. It does have a surprisingly lot of weathering on it. Kind of here in the cracks of the helmet, there's weathering. Of course, all over the front of the helmet, there's weathering. Even up to the little light bar on the side here, lots of nice weathering details. Not as much on the back, which is okay, but that's something that Hasbro's been doing a lot better job of. It's just adding paint to their helmet and weathering it, and I really like how this one turned out. Whenever it comes to like Hasbro helmets, I like that they do the glossy look because of course that's like part of Stormtrooper armor is they're shiny and they're glossy, and sometimes their figures don't necessarily reflect that, but their helmet here, it does. It's shiny, it's glossy, and it's stunning. I really, really like how this turned out. This thing does have some light features. There's a little light bar here, and the little things on the front do light up. But we do have to actually put some batteries in it. And to do that, there's a little thing on the side here, which just pretty much flips off, and then come off. Then there are two Phillips screwdriver heads here that you can unscrew to get to the battery box. Alrighty, so we did get batteries in this helmet, which is really great, and so this one is not a voice changer, kind of like some of the previous Hasbro Stormtrooper ones are, and I think that's good. I don't like the voice changers. I think they're dumb. You'll use them like one time and then you'll never use them again, so I typically don't even put batteries in it if it's a voice changer. This one, though, has light up features, and I love light up features. So there's a little button on the side here. If you press it once, the green lights here at the bottom kick on, so those are very cool. They are very bright too. Hit it a second time, this little light bar kicks on, and there is a green flashing light here. I'm not a huge fan of like flashing lights on a helmet, so I wish it kind of just stayed solid, but it does add a little bit of like character to the helmet, so I do like that. And if you click it one more time, the bottom lights turn off and only these ones are on, so you can kind of choose if you want just one or if you want both of them on. I personally like them both being on. I think this is definitely the way to go. This one's really cool. I will get my phone flashlight here so you can actually see inside the helmet. Nice amount of details and everything in there. It looks really, really cool. So I do like how Hasbro does a lot of like details on the inside of their helmets. It always turns out really nice, and it is a little hard to see, of course, but I just kind of wanted to show that off. Now, of course, we are going to have to try this thing on. I do apologize for my hat hair. I've been wearing a hat all day. But we're going to go ahead and try it on. And right off the bat, just from trying it on, it does not work with glasses very well. I'm sure you can squeeze them in there and finagle them in there if you wanted to. So if you're going to wear this out in like public for like a cosplay or something and you need glasses, I suggest contacts. But if you like 100% had to wear glasses, they will fit in there. It's just, it's tight and you have to like maneuver it onto your head so that it actually goes in there just fine. So I suggest taking off your glasses and then trying it on. And now that we got it on, I think it's pretty cool. I think it fits very, very nicely. It does have one of those like Hasbro head straps on the inside of this thing, so you can resize it. It'll fit pretty much any size head, which is good. I also think overall the scale of the helmet is very nice. I think that it fits, you know, like a actual human head pretty well, and I think that's the big problem with a lot of Hasbro helmets. But yeah, there we go. We took it off. I think that's the big problem with a lot of Hasbro helmets is that they're just oversized. And I feel like this one is pretty perfectly scaled. I'm a pretty short guy, but I feel like it looks pretty good on me. And so like I know a lot of these helmets are made for like 6 foot tall people, like as far as like scaling goes. And I feel like it doesn't look too bad. I feel like it looks like a pretty good sized helmet. And I think that's one of my big problems. If you look at the Clone Trooper helmet from Hasbro, that thing is just huge. It's way bigger than it should be. I just don't like it. And so that's why I'm really digging this Death Trooper helmet. And of course, I do love the lights in this thing too. So that's a big bonus. There is a big problem though that I actually was pointed out to, and that is the fact that you can see through the visor. That's something that they kind of go hit or miss on. Sometimes they're like mirrored to where you can't see through them. That was the case with the Shore Trooper helmet over here that's already on the shelf. That one you couldn't see through. It was mirrored on the front, and so if you wore it, you couldn't see your face underneath. This one is not the case though. If the light shines the right way, you can see right through the visor and see your eyes and face underneath. And that is always a big problem with Hasbro helmets. You know, if you're wearing a helmet, you don't want people to be able to see through it. And that is a big downside to this helmet, which I'm not a big fan of. So obviously it does have its pros and cons. I'm not going to wear these too often. I'll just put them on the shelf. And so it's not a huge downside for me that you can see through the visor. But if this is something you're planning on wearing for like cosplay or something else, you definitely want to somehow mirror the visor. But yeah, let's go ahead and get it put on the shelf. Alrighty, so we did move some stuff around, but we have an open spot on the shelf here. And that is right where we're going to put it. So let's get it put here on the shelf, and there we go. It is looking absolutely amazing, especially next to the Shore Trooper helmet there. I do really like the like Rogue One aesthetic here at the top shelf. Zooming out here a little bit more, we have the top 4 helmets, and I think this is a good like size comparison. The Death Trooper helmet is definitely the smallest of the 4. It's smaller than the Shore Trooper helmet, and it's much smaller than both the Stormtrooper and the Darth Vader helmet. Regardless though, all 4 of them are looking great on the shelf. If we just take like a wider zoom of all the helmets here, we have the 2 at the bottom going all the way up. I love the Stormtrooper and Imperial design and like aesthetic here for these helmets. Now, of course, there is the Mando helmet at the bottom, which does not fit that aesthetic, but it's such a cool helmet, I couldn't keep it off the shelf. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you like this display? And overall, what do you think of the Death Trooper helmet? It's easily one of my favorite ones in my collection now, and I think it's looking great here on the shelf. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments below, are you planning on picking up this helmet? I think if you guys have any desire to, I say go for it because it's so cool. And if you guys just haven't like had any experience with BlackSeries helmets are really top tier. So if you haven't yet, I highly suggest you guys go and pick up some BlackSeries helmets. But yeah, there we go on the shelf. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.